Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about the 3 myths about real estate investment. You need money, you're too late to the game, and the pros have it locked up already. Jill, great show.
I love it.
Before we start, let's take a question from a caller.
Okay, cool. Delaney from Houston called in and asked, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license to help me with investing. Would doing so be a big help, or am I just wasting my time? We've kind of talked about this before, but since she left that question, I thought it would be really good to address again.
Yeah, many times.
Mm-hmm.
My answer is this. Take the classes. Take the classes as if you were going to go all the way through and take them, with that much effort and show up for the classes. You're going to learn a ton. Out west here, it costs about $500 to go through the whole program. I think it may or may not be a little bit more expensive, expensive or inexpensive, depending on where you do it. Mm-hmm. But what you're going to learn is amazing. For $500, the amount of education that you're going to get in the hours of instruction that you'll get from local people and local laws and the whole thing, and the contacts that you'll make in the business, both from an investment standpoint and the whole thing, I think it's absolutely worthwhile. Mm-hmm. I put it under this umbrella. When is less education better? Mm-hmm. Never.
Right.
I mean, it's always better to have more education and then decide, maybe that wasn't worth it.
Right.
So, but should you take the exam? That's going to be up to you at the end. Mm-hmm. And don't walk away because you're just lazy and you don't want to take it or study for it.
Right.
You might find out that throughout those courses and the kind of people that are there, that you're more on the investor side than you are on the agent side. See, the big difference between a licensed agent and an investor is that investors represent themselves, or they put other investors together and they buy and sell properties. An agent represents people in the purchase and sale of their property. So, and I'll leave it all to you to figure that out, but it's actually pretty simple stuff. Mm-hmm. You want to represent yourself, or do you want to represent other people? But please don't do this. I hear this all the time. Oh, I only got my license because I wanted to have access to the MLS.
That's the funniest thing. I love that.
I mean, I hear it all the time, weekly.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I got my license. I'm not going to use it. I just want access to the MLS. There's a million ways to get access to the MLS.
Right. And by the way, we talk about this too. By the time it hits the MLS, it's probably too late.
Yeah. MLS is good for a lot of stuff, depending on, how robust your MLS is. The one in Arizona is fantastic. It's great for sales comparisons and a lot of data and a lot of stuff, actually, but it's incredibly expensive. And the further we get into the internet, the more resources you have to find out completed sales and the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Redfin is the number one app on the front of my phone. Mm-hmm. I use it every day.
Cool.
It's a direct feed. I think they update it once or twice a day to the MLS. Mm-hmm. So I have access to the MLS and I don't have a license.
There you go. Thank you, Stephen.
Is that a long-winded way? Do you have anything to say?
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
Don't anymore. Just kidding.
Hey, this could be called the Jill Show.
Jill, do you have anything to say? No, I think you got them all. No, just kidding.
This could totally be called the Jill Show today. It's up to you.
Why?
If you want to go ahead and answer these questions.
No. I want to do it with you. This is funny. No, I'm just teasing you. You know that.
I know.
And I know you don't feel good, so I'm just I'm good. Really teasing you. It's all good. Okay. So, myth number 1. You need money.
Isn't it funny?
You need money.
I get it. I get why
to be a real estate investor. Got to have money. I can't do it. I don't have $1 million in my back pocket. I guess I can't do it. That's not true.
Right.
Very wrong. You want to explain that?
Yeah. So there's way more money out there than talent. If you find a great real estate deal that's undervalued, I don't care if it's a mobile home, a nursing home, a piece of land way out in the sticks, or if it's a house that's fallen down, if it's undervalued substantially, and I'm talking like 50%. I'm not talking about 13% off. If your talent is, and this is what we teach, to locate undervalued and secure it, undervalued real estate, and then secure it. You know, the seller doesn't need to know that you don't have any money. You walk in pounding your chest saying, I'm ready to complete this transaction. Even if you have nobody they'll cash. It's no skin off your nose. And then find people that are in your market or in that little niche, regardless of where it is. It doesn't have to be in your backyard. It could be anywhere in the country. Find them, and they will respond.
Right.
You will get a deal done.
Exactly.
Money is, for whatever reason, this is a question I do not have the answer to, and I never will. I don't know why people who have a lot of resources financially just are lazy. I don't know why they don't go do it themselves. I have plenty of friends who have a ton of money and they do it themselves. But it's real easy to find somebody to back you if you find an undervalued piece of real estate.
You're right, and they are happy to just give you the money and then take part of the profit.
And partnership it.
Exactly. I love it. That was excellent. Thank you, Stephen.
We cover all the details in our programs and on Land Academy. I mean, Success Plan. Excuse me.
Now, and the other one is number 2. You're too late to get to the game.
I want you to take this one if that's all right.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to?
No. I'm just kidding. All I wrote down was, you know what? I just think that's silly. You know what? I think that's as I say, no, I don't want to do it, and I'm answering it. I think that's an excuse. I think there's something else going on. If you say, oh, I missed it, the bubble, oh, I should have been there for that. We have a good friend that had a hard time recovering with all this, and you know who I'm talking about. And he's now he's afraid to jump back in, and I'm like, this is silly, you know. Hello, it never slowed us down. Right. We're still successful. You know what? All you do is you alter what you're doing and you change it. You know, all we did was maybe the prices changed, but the percentages didn't change. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you can do this at any time. It's not crazy, and you know, I just think it's an excuse for something else. Like, you're just afraid to do it.
Well, I said, you know, I understand what the concern is. So, you know, because there were a lot of us caught the internet wave early on and made a ridiculous amount of money. But now it's different, and it's still a ridiculous amount of money. You just have to do things differently. Yeah. You know, we didn't have to. In the early days of the internet, we sold these assets for 3, 4, 5 times what we were purchasing them, like every day, like 20 a day. It's gotten a little bit more competitive because the internet's caught up with, our customers have caught up with the whole thing, and that's great. So now it's something else. Now you have to reinvent how you sell things. Maybe you have to have a podcast. Maybe you have to, you know, whatever. You just have to go in with the attitude like, whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. And whatever advantages there are out there, I'll shift my talent toward, or my effort toward that, and do whatever it takes.
You know what I think is happening too is nowadays there's so much change, and I think changes happen faster than they used to. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's still people that are a little uncomfortable with change. Gosh, because you know what? You may think now's not the right time to jump into X, but you know what? 5 years from now, you're going to say, boy, I wish I would have done that.
That's right.
You know, you just got to jump in and roll with it and stay with it and be committed, and it's never too late.
I'll tell you what'll never change, ever. I don't care what goes on with computers. What will never change is the value of personal relationships. When you send them, and what we teach is send a heartfelt offer to buy someone's property that's professional and sincere, and follow up on it, and they connect with that for whatever reasons. Now, I'm not talking about postcards or silly little colored letters or all this stuff. And don't go over the top sappy and put lipstick on it or anything like that. I'm saying just send a heartfelt letter that connects to John Smith, the owner of XYZ property at ABC address, for $1,300 cash, and you're going to close on Thursday. People take that seriously. They connect with it. Then they pick up the phone and call Jill, and she connects with them. There is no replacement for personal relationships. And I think and then it's triple or quadruple in person. Right. So I thought that this is a lot of years ago with the internet. Oh, we're all just going to be sitting in our coffee tables,
Right.
doing everything all day. And that's that.
Right.
Don't have to talk to anybody anymore. No way. Now more than ever, that personal relationship is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to summarize that's a total myth. I mean, you're never too late to any of this stuff. There's always a faster computer program. You can always be better at one of the things that it takes to be successful at this or anything else.
Mm-hmm. And you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not going to all happen overnight.
Exactly. Okay, number 3.
The pros have it locked up. Yeah. I mean, again, you know what? I was concerned about that too.
Oh, I have some things to say.
A lot of years ago, many years ago. Mm-hmm. Especially when you go in, I did a stint in commercial real estate real early on as a broker, and it's hard. It was tough because there was a lot of people. There are a lot of very seasoned brokers in the market. But you know what? I found a niche, was a healthcare niche, and knocked it out of the park. The first year I made like $30,000. The second year I was making $250 plus. So, and that was only because I found a niche and I really learned about it. Because they're complicated deals. Mm-hmm. So most brokers are lazy. They just didn't want to do it. I shouldn't say that. Most of the brokers I was working with back then in Detroit,
they were lazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we know. Here's something I was going to say about the pros have it all locked up. I have seen individuals come in and blow others away that are like brand new individuals with 2 things: 1, ambition, and 2, a fresh perspective.
Absolutely.
So don't think that you might be ahead of the game. You're thinking of things now that other people have been doing it so long, they're not even thinking about. You might find some missed opportunities from other investors. So it's not crazy. And the other thing I was going to say is, you think the pros have it locked up? So learn to do it like the pros too. Like what we talk about. Learn to find the deals. Mm-hmm. Have the tools. Use what the pros use,
which is what we have.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel here.
Right.
If they've got something going good, but and put that together. Your ambition and your fresh eyes and the way things are doing, you might tweak something that the pros are using and make it even better.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit, tiny bit off topic, but the point is the same. We have a pretty lengthy interview process when Jill and I do when people come to work here. And one of the things that I ask directly after not the first, second, or third round, but when we really are taking somebody seriously, I say, look, what do you think that you know about way more than I do? So if it's a tech position, I ask them, I ask questions, really, really detailed questions, and I make sure that they know more about it than I do, because that's the last thing I want from somebody working for me is, that I'm smarter than them.
Right.
That's silly.
Exactly.
I'm probably a better decision maker, and I bring a lot more experience, like transactions experience and all that stuff to the table. But just for raw skill, these tools are changing all the time. You want to make sure So yeah, Jill, you're exactly right. When you're young and you got a fresh education behind you about a lot of these things and a new perspective, and you're just going 100 miles an hour, you can really pass the pros pretty quick, especially if you have the same tools.
Totally. One of my biggest examples right now actually is social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I had another Snapchat 101 tutorial at brunch today. and I learned a few things. It was really cool. And some of the things that it's capable of doing and all these different things that are coming up. I mean, the advantages of being able to market there and reach people are huge.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. And this is stuff that pros doing this for 20 years, they don't know. They don't get it. They're not even thinking about this stuff,
That's right.
So, it's fresh eyes and younger, not even younger, but, just coming at this from wherever you've been.
Yeah.
So I know we have a lot of members actually that I know there's so many tools, myself included, that I'm better in this world because I had 10 years over here and I learned how to do this over here. I know how to run this over here, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So,
how many times did you hear way early on in our market, how can you possibly buy a piece of real estate if you don't go look at it?
Oh, yes.
And I haven't heard that in probably 2 years.
No, you're right.
Everybody just got over it.
They did.
Because of technology.
Right.
Probably because of Google Earth and the associated tools like that.
I feel like I'm standing on it. When I use the Google Earth and I drop the little human guy down on the street level and I'm standing there and I do a 360 view,
right.
I can almost, I can see laundry hanging, on the line out back, if I'm looking at something like a farm.
If you buy 5 acres and you have done all the due diligence you can in front of a computer like on Google Earth, but you buy it for $500 or $800, is it going to be okay?
I think so.
I think it's going to be okay.
It is.
And that's what I'm talking about. And that's the perspective that I brought to this, which I think in a large part was so successful and is so successful now. Now it's just a machine. But when it was a struggle a lot of years ago and when I was starting, everybody was like, this is never going to work. You're crazy. Right. No one's going to buy a piece of property on the internet.
That's
well,
funny.
if you've put together really detailed information and maps and cool stuff, just what you said, Jill, it's like, yeah, I can feel it. I can feel like I'm on there. And I'm going to purchasing for $1,200. Yeah, that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? You're right, Stephen. Because even on the buy side and the sell side, you feel real comfortable, and that's what we do. I mean, that's my whole thing. I mean, we're wholesalers. That's our number one. So we want that guy to feel like he got a really good deal, and he's not out a lot of money. He's still doing great.
Absolutely.
And so everybody wins.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important interest in property investment and in life. Yeah, that stuff, that brought me back a little bit.
Yeah, that was really good. You did that.
It made me think of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, those are good topics. I'm glad we talked about it.
There's probably more than 3 myths, but.
It's true.
Like one of them is, it's really easy. You can get rich really quick. It is easy, but it's time consuming.
Here's a myth that bugs me. People think that everybody's going to have one slam dunk and you're going to be set for life and nothing's going to go, I think that it bothers me because I think people get a little bit jaded watching TV, HD TV, and they see the Property Brothers and they're like, I can do that. Look how great this is. And there's stuff that goes into this too. I don't want to scare anybody, but.
Oh, you have to make a commitment and learn about it and everything else. You're going to get out of it what you should put into it.
Right.
So is it going to happen absolutely overnight? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this whole win the lottery kind of concept is so prevalent.
Everybody wants to be Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he worked his ass off forever.
Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean? It's some people, I think a lot of people think.
You're right.
I have a good thing to share. And I meant to look it up. I'm getting more into social media, and I saw a tweet or something the other day. And J.K. Rowling, who did Harry Potter, she was gonna. I don't know if she did the article or she was just talking about it, but she was posting or getting ready to post all of her rejection letters for people to see.
Right, I'm glad.
The years of rejection letters that she got for Harry Potter, and she stayed with it, and I love that. So,
or it stayed with her. People like that who are. That's what they're going to do. That's how we are, you and I. This is what I'm going to do for a living. So it's not even that I chose it. It kind of chose me.
Right.
And I'm going to make it work it's that mentality that's what it takes. On that note, let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.